you bronze those shoes, and for those that don't know, it's just like they would literally take the shoes and dip them in bronze, and they would be like, I guess you put them on like a mantle or something like that.
Well, it's like what we do for
Um,
Prabhupada. We take his footprints,
yeah, yeah,
or when I was little, we did handprints in clay. I still have mine somewhere, my handprint in clay
okay,
from when you're 5 years old. And that
yeah,
sort of like holds you there in time. And so we do it
yeah,
with
and
Prabhupada's
for
Prabhupada's footprints or great Acharya's footprints.
and for a parent, like to say to have a baby shoe bronzed, it means one, it's never going to be destroyed,
Mm.
because it's so solid now. But even when like the mother is like, let's say the mother was, like 25 when she had the baby.
Hmm.
So by the time she's like 80, then the kid is 55 years old.
Sure.
But and the emotions that she feels as a mother have changed in a way, because there's an infant, and then there's a child, and then there's a teenager, and then there's then your child is married and having children of their own, and now you're a grandmother, and the mood, the flavor of that love goes through transitions. But the mother wants to remember what it was like to feel that love when it was just an infant. There's something very special about that feeling, and those bronze shoes bring the mother back. It
Mm.
brings, it makes that feeling arise in the mind, arise in the awareness, you say, or arise in the heart, and then you feel that. And really, in bhakti, again, it's like we don't say the success of this path is that you go to heaven, all right? You die
Yeah.
and go to heaven. We say the success of this path is that you have a love that's so real that you feel deep, powerful emotions of love. So much so that you cry, so much so that you get goosebumps. So, all the things that you would feel in any kind of powerful, loving relationship, you're feeling in this, but even more far more powerful.
Mm.
And so these footprints of Krishna are not a small thing. They made the land of Vṛndāvana most auspicious by imprinting upon it the marks of their lotus feet. Those make this place really powerful, and footprints are still being worshipped here. They're still being honored to this day, thousands of years later. People are seeing these footprints in stone,
And that,
and feeling similar feelings.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Live from Super Soul Farm in Cana, New York, this is Wisdom of the Sages, a Bhakti Yoga podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center in New York City, Kaustubha Das. Welcome to the show. It's Monday, December 15th, 2025. It's episode 1708. Happy birthday, Chapuji. Boom. Kaustubha's live in Vṛndāvana. And me and Pranapriya are struggling here with our jet lag still. It's unbelievable. Went to bed at 9 o'clock, woke up at 11, stayed up for 4 hours.
Yeah, it doesn't usually affect us for so many days afterwards.
Before we get into stuff, I have a Kṛṣṇa miracle for you, Kaustubha. And
well, I'll be the judge of that, Raghunath. Let's hear it. I'm interested to hear.
You were going to declare this a Kṛṣṇa miracle, I think. But we have to announce Mayapur, because Mayapur is happening. And it's happening. The dates are
January 26th through February 2nd. And I think it's up on our website, right?
It's up on the website now, or you go to Raghu, Raghu, Raghu.pilgrimage@gmail.com. Me and Kaustubha are doing it together. Pranapriya will be there. And it's in Mayapur. If you want to get away, we call it, what's that?
Third annual.
Third annual. And we call it like a level 2 pilgrimage. It's for people who say, you know what? This Kṛṣṇa Bhakti thing, this is my path. And Mayapur is a great place to go. It's the home of Kirtan, beautiful temples, beautiful darshan, great prasad, lots of Kirtan, lots of stories about Lord Chaitanya. It's only a week. If you have a struggle getting away for pilgrimage, for time or finances, this isn't very expensive. It's a simple, quick pilgrimage. A lot of people like to go to the Flower Festival first and meet us in Calcutta. So if you're interested, we need to know ASAP because we didn't advertise it till later. So that's the latest, people.
Okay.
How'd you like to hear a Kṛṣṇa miracle?
I'm down.
Okay, bring him down. We got Mikey and Zoe here. Mikey Prema's here. And he's like,
Which Mikey Prema are we talking about?
We're talking about
The
our
original?
Mikey Prema. Zoom's, no. Nashville Mikey
You know,
Prema.
Mike, I've been meaning to get back to you. You wrote me a letter. I never got back to you. I feel really bad about that.
Well, you should. That's why we brought him here today. To shame you.
To embarrass me? To shame me.
That's okay. Thank you, Kaustubha Prabhu. The Kṛṣṇa miracle is in relation to the question I wrote you, actually.
Okay.
Harry, you got to put the mic right up your
Okay.
mouth. It's a podcast, Mike. But Mikey's here. He's filming the the deconstruction of the Nectar of Instruction course for me.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're having a great time. Love having you here.
Happy to be here. Thank you both.
He and his wife are so sweet.
It's awesome to be here, and as always, thank you both so much for everything you've done for us. And this podcast has absolutely changed my life in so many ways. I was heading in one direction, and it's like I've made a total 180, and it's led me to so many amazing, great things, and just have nothing but gratitude for the both of you.
Thank you, Prabhu. I'm gonna ask
That's
you to
very
hold it a
nice to
little
hear.
closer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying that, Mikey. And, everybody on this path has their story, so that somehow the divine kind of gets in our way somehow and sends us in a way that we never dreamt we might be going. But
You were a Joe Rogan
it's nice
guy?
to hear about you.
Yeah, I stumbled into your episode on Joe Rogan way after the fact, like 2 or 3 years after you went on. It just like a short popped up on my YouTube
wow.
feed, and just dove in from there. And
And somehow dug out Wisdom of the Sages from that. That's just pretty cool, Kṛṣṇa. Just from a short, they can connect with Wisdom of the Sages.
It's wonderful.
now it's like I went listened to the whole episode. You mentioned Wisdom of the Sages, and then from there I went back and listened to like
Amazing.
100 episodes. And
Amazing.
yeah,
All right, talk to me.
okay, so
Kṛṣṇa miracle time.
I inquired to Raghunath Prabhu to see if he would consider this a Kṛṣṇa miracle.
You're asking the wrong person. He'll say anything's a Kṛṣṇa miracle.
You know why? I see miracles in the ordinary.
Okay.
So, well, I'm a videographer. That's what I do for a living. And a few months ago, I got booked on a job. And sometimes I get booked by this, like, they're a larger company, and I get subcontracted. So I don't always know what I'm going to film. And it was like a day before, I got a message, hey, can you film a conference in Huntsville, Alabama? And I live in Nashville. It's a couple hours away. And I really didn't want to do it. I had worked like 5 or 6 weekends in a row. I was going to have to be gone from Friday until Sunday evening. I really didn't want to do it. I struggle with setting boundaries. It's something I'm working on with Arjuna Das, formerly Mike Stone, in the BRG.
Okay.
But I basically, they didn't have anybody else to go and do the job. Last minute, I say, okay, I'll do it. I have no idea what I'm going to film. They tell me, it's at the Von Braun Convention Center.
Okay.
So right before I leave, I go on their website and see like, okay, what conventions are happening there this weekend? And I see a hunting and fishing expo
Oh, no.
is the only thing listed. And I was just like, oh my God, are you kidding me? Like, this is what I have to go and do. Like, I didn't want to do this in the first place. I was really upset. And I was just like, this is the last thing. Like, I'm trying to work towards a life where I use my
Talents.
yeah, my talents in Christian service and to spread bhakti in some way, shape, or form. And I was like, this is just totally the wrong direction.
Wow.
And I show up to the convention center. All I know is I'm going to be in the South Hall. And I walk in, and I see a bunch of swamis. There's people walking around in saffron robes. And I was just like, oh
And
my
they're
God.
hunting and they're fishing.
Well, by the time I made it to the hall where I was going to be at, there's a big banner that says the North American Vedānta Conference. And
Okay.
that's
Look at that.
actually what I was there to film for those 3
And
days.
what were they studying that day that you were there?
The first night, the whole program was on Lord Chaitanya, like 4 or 5 hours dedicated to Lord Chaitanya and his effect on
Come on, Krishna
Yeah.
miracle.
Krishna miracle, Krishna
There
miracle,
we
no
go.
doubt.
Woo. You know, it's really it is like God hijacks our life. When you call God, he comes. And the same thing is true with anything, I think. It's like whatever you call is going to start to come towards you. You call the devil comes. You know? Darkness comes. You call some light, you call some love, you call some sweet baby Krishna, you call some Vedānta, that comes too. All right, Mikey Prema, thanks for having. It's great
you know,
having you.
Well, and we could go deeper into this because I'll answer your letter, Mikey. I'll answer your
sorry about that.
message.
Okay.
No.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you both.
I mean, yeah, that's a miracle in itself. And then he had some questions about some of the things that were spoken there, so we could get.
I mean,
into
Lord Chaitanya in Alabama, come on.
No, I mean, how often does that happen? How many videographers are there? How this? Yeah, that's mathematically.
It's
that could make a
mathematically
strong case for-
impossible.
Not impossible, but enough to be a miracle.
Yeah.
You know, so Raghunath, I'm here studying with my Oxford colleagues.
Yes.
You do understand? I have Oxford colleagues.
I understand. I'm impressed by Hans Brew and friends.
Okay.
What's that like? If you don't know, Kaustubha's in Vṛndāvana with a bunch of Oxford colleagues studying sacred literature. For the Holy Place. Now, are they all devotees? Are they like non-devotees that are sort of like, I'm from Oxford.
They're
and I
all
want to know
devotees.
about Bhakti.
They're all from the Oxford Center for Hindu Studies. Is like it's an organization out of Oxford, and it has professors from different universities, including Oxford. And they're all devotees, and they're all Krishna devotees, and but they're all really good qualified scholars, and they're giving different. What we're doing is they're giving. Like the average day is like in the morning we go out to like the Radha Govinda temple, the Radha Gopinath temple, and they start to explain it from different historical points of view, sharing things that you would normally hear, bringing their academic lens to it, and then then we have lunch together, usually at the MVT. Although today we had it at Govardhan in the dust of Govardhan Hill. And then in the afternoon is usually like a classroom kind of presentation, and they've been really great, really fascinating topics. The whole thing is great because the presentations are really interesting. And you know what? I'll give you an example. Like yesterday's presentation was on religious experience within the context of Gaudiya Vaishnavism, wherein like what's considered to be success on his path. Right, it's like intense emotion, right? Like love, like just like overwhelming love with where you're crying and you have goosebumps, and like that's like it's working, Right. But then on the other side, and so you think, oh, it's like a full-on heart kind of thing, but then it's all analyzed with like this incredible philosophical rigor, like you have books like Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and other books that are, this whole deep philosophical analysis of it all. It's like it's a head thing too. And what does religious experience look like? And those experiences that we hear, like Sri Chaitanya was having, are people having them now? Or what are we having? What kind of experiences are we having? And what qualifies as a religious experience? And the speaker narrowed it down to two interesting topics. One was like arrangements. Like when that was like just right now, right? Like that was like a Krishna arrangement, a Krishna miracle, like
Mikey Prema's Krishna arrangement.
Yeah, like how often in Alabama has there ever been a Vedanta conference at all? Probably never, ever once. And the one person they call to come film it is a person that's practicing Bhakti Vedanta.
It's almost like the whole thing could have happened just for him.
yeah, that's right. In one sense, it did. In one sense, that is how the devotee interprets their religious experience. Like Krishna arranged that for me. And so one was arrangements, and another one was ecstasies. And we talked about he interviewed like hundreds of devotees and heard from them about these things, and kind of started to categorize them. Anyway, there's been all kind of interesting presentations so far. There's a picture of me on the chat now.
Give me one. I want a religious experience, a contemporary religious experience. You got
You
any?
know, they were ranging from all kind of things. Like when I first saw my guru, there's practically light emanating from him, or, you know, breaking down in tears from hearing something. You know, he was giving those kind of examples. There, you know, sometimes in dreams, special things happen. All these, he was listing different types of ecstasies that people experience. So, but you know, beyond the actual formal presentations, it's like every lunch, every bus ride, you know, you're sitting next to really interesting people and making great connections, relationships. It's and we're only in day 3, and we have, I don't know, something like at least another week to go. So I'm really happy to be participating in this. You know, a nice way to educate myself at this stage,
Hey, Kaustubha,
or be educated.
episode
Yeah.
1800, the Kṛṣṇa miracle
about it?
episode. People are going to
Okay,
write in
you
their
wanna do
Kṛṣṇa
that?
miracles, or they're going to be unmuted, and we're going to have everybody share a Kṛṣṇa miracle. What do you think? That's a good idea.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Kṛṣṇa miracle. We got a ways to go, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, so anyway, people can think of their Kṛṣṇa miracles. Here's the problem with Kṛṣṇa miracles. If you don't like record them, write them down, you'll be like, yeah, well, you'll forget about it. But the world is quite magical, and God is always trying to reciprocate with you or let you know he's there.
Yeah.
Hmm?
You see the photo of me there, Raghunath, in the dust of Govardhan Hill?
Yeah, look at you. You're the
On the
best.
chat board. Isn't that those sweet deities too? And you know who painted them like that? Those Sheilas there?
What's that? I can't hear you. Say again.
You're looking at those Sheilas that I'm sitting in front of?
Yeah. Oh,
Where
yeah.
Krishna
I
looks
know
like a
exactly
beautiful
where you are.
bird or something like, right? It's so cool.
Yeah, I know exactly. where you
But
are.
so those deities, all those decorations, that was painted by Taruni from Bhakti Yoga Rishikesh.
Oh, yeah. Taruni.
Yeah,
Wow.
beautiful.
Brings me back. That's right where Pranapriya got initiated.
Yeah. Oh, right there at that spot.
Yeah, well, close by. Close by.
Oh, the spot just next to it.
Like, yeah, 200
Yeah,
feet
yeah.
away.
That's where we had lunch today. All right.
All right, beautiful.
You ready for the nugget?
Yes, sir. Anything else, Miss Prana?
Oh, yeah, the announcements maybe, huh?
Yeah, well, we'll do the show the next 2 days at the same time slot, 8 a.m. Eastern time. A little
Okay.
later than usual.
Okay.
And then Sage Group registration for the next round of Sage Group starts this Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern time on our website, wisdomofthesages.com.
So important if you're listening to the podcast to connect with the Sage Group. We hear nothing but positive things, but it's really in that connecting with other devotees. It saves us from this like spiritual isolation that we have, especially
Right.
if you're living in a weird place in the world where you don't have a community around you. You meet people and they stay connected with you. It's like a wonderful program, and it costs nothing. We do it for
Nothing.
free. You know, people volunteer their time. So check these things out.
It's an 11-week commitment. You meet once a week for 11 weeks. You make friends. You meet people that really. A lot of these sage groups, they're making friends with the people that'll stay with them their whole life. You know, important
An
connections.
hour a week, not like 11, you're working a job for 11 weeks. It's an hour a week.
Yeah, hour and a half maybe, but yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
All right. Ready
You
for
know,
the next?
Ready.
I tell you something. Oh, I was
Yeah.
going to just say something real quick.
Sure.
We're actually experimenting with, or actually, it's not this time. It'll be this, not this session, but after this 11-week session goes as a 2-week break, and then we're going to start something new.
Ooh.
And that is that anyone can start a sage group. Like, we won't necessarily put them up on the website, but like if you got a couple friends and you want to have a sage group, we'll support you just like we support all the other sage groups. We'll provide for you the weekly notes to guide the conversations, and we'll even
That's
provide
smart.
you other kinds of backup. Like, sometimes we do surveys of all the sage group members, find out what are the important issues in their life, see if we can address them in any different way. So, like, we want to more and more we're providing sage group leaders with resources to care for their sage group members. We'll provide those same resources to anyone that starts a sage group. So if you said, I want to, you know what, I got 4 friends, and let's get together every week and do the sage group.
Like in person.
And
Or online, yeah, I
in
guess.
person or online. Yeah, either way. We'll provide for you all the support that you need to do that.
That's
We're
great.
not going to do it this time, but that'll be coming. So think about that. If you want to do that, write to us, let us know. And when we're ready to start the next group, which will be, sometime probably in March or something like that, we'll hook you guys up. Maybe we'll even hook you up sooner. I mean, we could do that too.
Big part
So
of
just let
Bhakti
us
is
know.
connecting with other people, for sure.
Connecting with others, yeah.
Okay,
All right.
let's dive into our nugget for today and then dive into the Bhagavatam. We're starting a new chapter.
That's
All right, this nugget comes from Cormac McCarthy, All the Pretty Horses.
All the pretty. That's a novel, I believe. Yeah, All the Pretty Horses.
He writes, "The place where you made your stand never leaves you."
Okay.
Interesting. Interesting.
That's it, right there. Boom.
Thank you. You want me to go first on this?
Yes, please do.
All right.
The place where you make it. Read it again. The place where you make your
The
stand.
place where you made your stand never leaves you.
You got to make a
know,
stand somewhere, right?
Yeah, some places are more than just places, right? You don't just pass through them. You make your stand there, right? You make a decision, maybe without even realizing it at first, and after that, you carry that place with you. You know, it stays in you, in how you think and how you see the world. And for some people, that place is whatever, their hometown or their neighborhood. Their country that they live in. Even when they leave, it doesn't really leave them. And for spiritual people, holy places work like that on a whole nother level. When I first went to Vṛndāvana as a young man, it ended up being more than just a vacation or a trip or going, sightseeing. In some way, I made a stand there, and I've been, I carry that place with me ever since. Like decades later, I'm still standing there in Vṛndāvana. Even when I'm not physically present, it's with me in how I live and how I understand love, how I understand God, how I understand the soul. A place like that doesn't just get remembered; it shapes like who you are. That's like where I made my stand. I still go there every year, twice a year now.
And
You're
even
there
when
now.
you're not there, yeah, that's right. And even when you're not there, you're kind of still there. In other words, it's like it's a
Sure.
fact that we identify. We identify in different ways, right? We identify according to the body. We identify according to race. We identify according to neighborhood. We identify according to country. So many things. And generally in Vedanta, we encourage one to let go of those designations. You're not an American. That's just something that you're temporarily passing through. But the holy Dham, a place like Vṛndāvana, our whole thing is, no, that's not an ordinary place. That is actually like, to understand it, you have to kind of try to get into this matrix kind of worldview or something like that, right? That's another dimension entering into this dimension. That is like, it's a place that has entirely different laws, that it functions by, that has somehow popped into our crazy world. And when you enter into that and you make a stand, in others, you begin to identify with that. You know what? I like the values of that place. I like the way that place works. What it's centered around. I identify with that, and that's all I want to identify with that. And I'll sacrifice for that. I want to contribute to that. I want to preserve that, protect it, spread that. That's my place. That's something very real, and it's something, that's, in the presentation on religious experience. He said that, these feelings, these overwhelming ecstasies are deep, powerful spiritual experiences that people are having. He said those are generally triggered or, set off by one of 5 different kind of stimuluses, or five different settings or experiences that trigger that experience. And one of them is being in a holy place, right? People have these, I went to Vṛndāvana and this happened. And I'll tell you what, Raghunath, he began to analyze these experiences that people have. And I brought up the point, and it really coincided with what he was presenting. But the question that we always hear, when people are out on pilgrimage, the question, what question do people always have during or towards the end of the
How can I take this home with me?
exactly, right? It's like, I'm experiencing something unique and powerful. This is like, it's gone right to my heart, and it's stirred things up in me, and I'm seeing the world and experiencing the world and experiencing things that I haven't before. But I'm going to go back. What's going to happen then? Am I going to lose this? So yeah, really powerful things happen in these places. And as we were saying, and you carry that place with you. And what is it about that place? Today, with this chapter 15 that we're going into, the mood, well, it's kind of like Krishna. It's crossing a border, and Krishna's a little bit older, and just a little bit different. Like just as wonderful and special, but just like showing another part of his unlimited ability to reciprocate with love. When he was a boy, there's certain ways he was reciprocating love, but now we're going to see, no, Krishna also comes in a bit older form, and he could be loved in other ways.
And of course, the devotees have a different relationship with Krishna.
And the devotees, and it just all variety. It's opening up more varieties of the way that he shares love, and we'll hear about the beauty of Vṛndāvana, and things that special things there that you carry with you in your heart. You can say in your memory, you can say in your heart, but this is yoga. How our thoughts can become purified, how our thoughts can become elevated and powerful and transformative and liberating. All of that is there in Krishna's Leela. And we hear, as we read through this chapter, it's being laid out in the most beautiful way, in a way that's more creative, or aesthetically beautiful, charming, than anything else we'll ever hear in Vedānta. We'll hear in these verses that Vyasa is sharing with us. Yeah. All right. You ready for chapter 15?
Yeah, let's dive in.
All
Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudirayat. Before we start in the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, which is our very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord Narayan, and to Narayan Rishi, the supremmost human being, and to Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayeshu bhadreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati uttamas loke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki. By regular attendance in classes in the Bhagavatam, and by rendering service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome to the heart will become eradicated, and loving service to the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, will be established as an irrevocable fact. Om Jnana Timarandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chaksurun Madadam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my teachers are opening my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my obeisances at their lotus feet. Reading from the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 15. The killing of Dhanaka, the ass demon.
Kicking.
Can't make this stuff up. There's an ass demon. Okay, starting with text 1, the narrator, Sukadeva Goswami, says, when Lord Rama, meaning Balaram, Krishna's older brother, and Lord Krishna attained the age of Poganda, ages approximately 6 to 10, while living in Vṛndāvana, the cowherd men allowed them to take up the task of tending the cows. Engaging thus in the company of their friends, the two boys rendered the land of Vṛndāvana most auspicious by imprinting upon it the marks of their lotus feet.
There you go.
Thus,
Even that right there, Raghunath, there's so much talk about Krishna's footprints in Vṛndāvana. True? So, I was actually having a beautiful conversation just today on the bus, about like, there's a place, where that, is it Banavihari, little temple is?
Yeah.
Right by Kusum Sarovar?
Yeah.
Right? And then, like if you continue on the parikrama path, but on the inside, you can go kind of inside from there.
Yeah.
And in that area, there's a place where they have a stone that they say has Krishna's footprint in it. Have you ever been there?
I'm not sure.
They
Is
say
that the place we just went to? I don't know. There's so many secret places like that, but go on.
they say that you see one foot, like, and then you also see like just the toes to the other foot, because Krishna stands in that threefold way,
Right,
so it's like his second foot isn't fully down, just his toes are there. And the devotee was telling me how special like a footprint is. He was really analyzing, right? Because like a footprint. Now, remember, there's the great saint, one of the great saints, of the Krishna consciousness movement was Srila Gaura Govinda Maharaj. And he wrote that book called The Embankment of Separation.
Yeah.
Right? And he uses this metaphor that like bhakti is like a river, how it flows. And how does it flow? Like a river flows between two embankments. And the embankments that the river of bhakti flows between are the embankment of union and the embankment of separation, right? When you come together
Krishna?
with Krishna,
And then Krishna's
and then
gone.
then Krishna's gone. It's between those feelings and those feelings coming and going that this intense emotions of bhakti are flowing between. And he said, we were analyzing this together, and he said, the footprint, it has elements of both union and separation in it. It's like, it's separation because it's literally something left behind. It's like a footprint is only there once the person moves on. But at the same time, the footprint is like this personal mark. And, when the residents of Vṛndāvana, it actually says that they preserve the footprints of Krishna in the sands of Vṛndāvana, right? Like they would never want to step on that footprint. It's like, oh, look at that footprint. It's like, it's beautiful. It's got the mark of Krishna's beautiful feet on it. And when we see that, we feel both union and separation, and the feelings that one has. And you and I have talked about this thing, like the different, like for instance, the different thing parents do to remember their children and remember what they were like when they were young.
Yeah.
Like there's photographs, of course. Sometimes you see an old birth certificate that has like a footprint on it.
Yes.
Do they still do that? Is that like a thing still?
I don't think
Mara,
it's a
no?
thing anymore.
Yeah.
No, I just saw
Okay.
Tarun's birth certificate. It didn't have any footprints on it.
No.
Well, that's because we do it budget. We have all the kids at home. We have the local.
Got plenty of footprints all around the
local
house.
judge delivers the baby. Someone's boiling water in the kitchen.
Yeah, we can do a footprint for you. That'll be an extra $10. Nah, that's okay.
I'm cutting the cord with like a,
But I think
with
my
a chainsaw.
I think my birth print had a footprint on it.
Yeah, mine
if I
had
remember correctly.
footprints on it.
Yeah, and we talked about like how when we were kids that the parents used to bronze the baby shoes.
Yeah, mine never got bronzed. My parents didn't take
Okay.
it. We were poor. They were like, you know what? You had shoes. They were beautiful. I
Now
think they
your
might
little
have-
brother's wearing them.
Yeah, now your little brother's wearing them. We saved them for your little brother.
I saw, it's funny because I was actually looking up something on this, and it had a quote from Phyllis Diller of all people, right?
Yeah, a legend.
Pranapri, do you know Phyllis Diller? No.
Comedian.
Oh, she was
Yeah,
such a
she's like-
comedian that she got held in a special Hall of Fame. Like she made it to Scooby Doo, a cartoon version of herself, Phyllis Diller.
Okay.
That's a special type of
That is
comedian.
pretty impressive.
So she had some joke. I think she was saying it's like, when I was growing up, we were so poor and everything was hand-me-downs. So I was lucky, like I was the oldest kid, and like my little sister, she had it harder because she had all the hand-me-downs, and especially those brown shoes really killed her. It's like, they bronzed the first shoes, and the other kids had to wear. But you bronze those shoes, and for those that don't know, it's just like they would literally take the shoes and dip them in bronze, and they would be like, I guess you put them on like a mantle or something like that.
Well, it's like what we do for Prabhupada. We take his footprints.
Yeah.
Or when I was little, we did handprints in clay. I still have mine somewhere, my handprint in clay
Okay.
from when you're 5 years old. And that
Yeah,
sort of like
and-
holds you there in time. And so we do
Yeah,
it
and
Prabhupada's Prabhupada's footprints or great Acharya's footprints.
And for a parent, like to say to have a baby shoe bronzed, it means one, it's never going to be destroyed, because it's so solid now. But even when like the mother is like, let's say the mother was, like 25 when she had the baby.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time she's like 80, then the kid is 55 years old.
Sure.
But the emotions that she feels as a mother have changed in a way because, there's an infant and then there's a child and then there's a teenager and then there's, then your child is married and having children of their own and now you're a grandmother. And the mood, the flavor of that love goes through, transitions, but the mother wants to remember what it was like to feel that love when it was just an infant. There's something very special about that feeling. And those bronze shoes bring the mother back. It brings, it makes that feeling arise in the mind, arise in the awareness, you could say, or arise in the heart. And then you feel that. And really in Bhakti, again, it's like, we don't say the success of this path is that you go to heaven, all right? You die and go to heaven. We say the success of this path is that you have a love that's so real that you feel deep, powerful emotions of love. So much so that you cry, so much so that you get goosebumps. So, all the things that you would feel in any kind of powerful, loving relationship, you're feeling in this, but even more far more powerful. And so these footprints of Kṛṣṇa are not a small thing. They made the land of Vṛndāvana most auspicious by imprinting upon it the marks of their lotus feet. Those make this place really powerful. And footprints are still being worshipped here, They're still being honored to this day. Thousands of years later, people are seeing these footprints in stone and feeling similar feelings.
That's why the idea of the dust of Vṛndāvana is so sacred. Like, if you're walking around New York City and you're rolling on the ground, we think like you're a lunatic. In Vṛndāvana, people dressed very nicely in white clothes roll on the ground because the idea is that Kṛṣṇa not just walked here, he's still walking here in his unmanifest
That's right.
form. And this is sacred earth. I don't care what I'm wearing. I don't care if it's white, silk, robes. I want to be covered. And sometimes you see different lineages, they cover their entire skull with this white, sand. And
Dust. Yeah.
Ever do that walking
We'll be
around?
going there.
Ever walk in
We'll be going to
Vṛndāvana and see
Tatiya
somebody
Stan.
covered like that, and you turn around and you're like, ah! It sort of scares you because their face is like totally white.
Oh, man. I'll tell you something, Raghunath. I also heard something really amazing today. I thought this was like the coolest thing I ever heard, right?
Tell me.
That one devotee was, in examining these different religious experiences,
Yeah.
they were interviewing people that were doing Govardhan Prikramas, like Dandavat Prikramas, people that were prostrating.
Interesting.
Yeah, sometimes prostrating 108 times in one spot and going the whole way around the
It would be a
14
great
mile.
book. It would be a great book,
Yeah.
hearing people's personal stories.
I love that. I always
Yeah.
wonder about people's personal stories when I see them doing,
It's
like,
so
especially
cool.
those real intense Dandavat Prikrams where it's 108 in the same spot.
108. They got big pile of rocks there, and they're
Yeah.
marking it with each
for
rock.
them, I think it's like they're like one guy told me that like, this is like how I'm going to die. I'm just going to keep doing this till I die.
Wow.
Well,
Right, go
so one of these people, he stopped and he was interviewing them. There they are, just like covered in the there's this soft, sandy dust of Vṛndāvana, right? When we say the dust, it's like this beautiful, soft sand. It's so nice to walk on, and very fine, And you're doing that Dandavat Pranayama. You're down in that dust. Your clothes are covered by it. You're just in it. And when you're down there, you're you have a whole new perspective on the Dham, on God, on who you are, on where you are. I'm not in an ordinary place. I'm in the spiritual world. You're getting all these realizations, and this person's doing this prikrama. And some of these people just do it constantly. Like once they finish one, they keep going, and they do it for years, And this was like one of those kind of people, like, just like that's their life. You know, they
Makes no
beg a
material
future
sense.
potties.
You know, you think they're going to be ripped or like like one of these fitness models. They're not.
So this, you know, they were wearing just like kind of like just a piece of cloth around their waist, and maybe they have a turban, you know,
Yeah.
and they asked this person, what is it that you want to gain by this? Like, what is your purpose in doing this unusual activity? You know?
Yeah.
And the person just looked at him with a big smile on their face, and they reached down, they took a handful of that sand, that dust, and they just went like this with it, like where they just kind of like let it all drop to
Like, this is
slowly
all I
go through
want.
their fingers. This is all I want. I just want to be a speck of dust in Krishna's Vṛndāvana and feel the ecstasy of being in his presence and always being absorbed and thought of. To be this dust is my aspiration, you know? And he just,
Very
with
cool.
a smile on his face, just like, didn't even have any words, just like, you know, either you get it or you don't. You know? I thought that was like the coolest thing I ever heard in my life.
That is very
you know?
cool. That is very cool. I tell you meet all types when you hang out in Vṛndāvana. You meet people that are out of this world.
Yeah, you do.
All right, let's dive in. We're still only on
Yes.
text 1. Here's text 2.
Okay.
Thus, desiring to enjoy pastimes, Lord Madhava, Krishna, sounding his flute, surrounded by cowherd boys who were chanting his glories, and accompanied by Lord Baladev, his older brother, kept the cows before him and entered the Vṛndāvana forest, which was full of flowers and rich with nourishment for the animals. Text 3. The Supreme
Okay, so
Personality.
here we're getting the picture right now. Krishna and Balaram are walking together in this most beautiful setting that's just perfectly suited for their loving pastimes.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead looked over that forest, which resounded with the charming sounds of bees, animals, and birds, and which was enhanced by a lake whose clear water resembled the minds of great souls, and by a breeze carrying the fragrance of 100-petaled lotuses. Seeing all this, Lord Krishna decided to enjoy the auspicious atmosphere.
Okay.
The primeval Lord saw that the stately trees, with their beautiful reddish buds and their heavy burden of fruits and flowers, were bending down to touch his feet with the tips of their branches. Thus he smiled gently and addressed his elder brother. Krishna said,
You know, this is this is where, you know, it really hurts that we're not that we don't know Sanskrit.
yeah,
You know, I can just look at this and see, oh, this is beautiful poetry. You know, satatra taruna palavashriya palaprashanuru parena padyo sprisha chikan viksha vanaspatin mudha smayan ivahagra jam adi parusha. You know, the adi parusha, the original person. This is Vyasa. You know, when you're writing Upanishads, Vedānta Sutra, it's not like poetry like this. He's giving the deepest revelation of Vedanta, and he's doing it just as an artist now. You know, not as a philosopher, not solely as a philosopher, but like as a full-on philosopher and a full-on artist, you know, full-on poet. And just because otherwise you can't convey the beauty of what's happening here, you know. So it's a real special type of Vedanta we're hearing now from Vyasa.
the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O greatest of lords, just see how these trees are bowing down their heads at your lotus feet, which are worshipable by the immortal demigods. I guess he's talking to Balaram.
Yes, this is Krishna speaking to Balaram.
The trees are offering you their fruits and flowers to eradicate the dark ignorance that has caused their birth as trees. It's not considered a high birth to be a tree.
Yes.
You're just
But
sort of
these
standing
trees,
around. Yeah.
And Braj,
These trees in Vṛndāvana are not
they're devotees.
ordinary.
Yeah. You know,
Interesting to
the sages here, the dust, they see it as very special. The trees,
You know what?
they see it as very special. The river, the mountain, it's all very sacred.
You know, I was just thinking about this concept in Bhakti that we have no idea who we're dealing with on a regular basis. Like people get into Bhakti, but generally if you come to this path, it's not ordinary. And some people have been practicing Bhakti, it seems like, what, 50 years, 40 years, 60 years, but they don't seem like evolved. And you wonder, well, why not? They put in their time. But it's because they've been practicing for 60 years. They've been practicing Maya for lifetimes. And then you have some guy who's been practicing Bhakti for 2 years, but they seem so evolved, right? So it's one of these things like in Bhakti, we never know who we're dealing with that's right in front of us. And then you take that to holy places. Like, we go to Rishikesh or Vṛndāvana or Haridwar or Devprayag. And these beings are living at the Ganga. These dogs are living by the Ganga. These monkeys, these insects, these snakes. They're living in holy places. Even a snake is just slithering around the dust of Vṛndāvana. Who are these snakes? It is a living being that has taken birth for some reason or other in a holy place. They're not ordinary. What were they? Or is it a curse that they're there? I look at you. Who is Kaustubha? It's really cool and like mind bending to start to see people as bigger than their present form. Who are you, Kaustubha? That is my question. I think we lost him actually. He couldn't take my appreciation of him, so he had to go out. Pranapriya, we lost Kaustubha, so when he comes on, you got to unmute him. Anyway, that was my appreciation because I was doing it. I was writing that last night at 3 a.m. during my deconstruction, the nectar of instruction, when I couldn't fall asleep. Text 6. The original personality. Oh, original personality. These bees must all be great sages. Just said that. And most elevated devotees of yours. For they are worshiping you by following you along the path and chanting your glories, which are themselves a holy place for the entire world. Though you have disguised yourself within this forest, O sinless one, they refuse to abandon you, their worshipable Lord. So Krishna's got that vision right now. Like, who are these trees out here? Who are these bees out here? Nothing is ordinary. And truthfully, once you start to surround yourself in sacred communities, we should go into meeting people like these people are not ordinary. They're not. Yeah? Mikey Prema, your wife is not an ordinary lady. She's not an ordinary lady, and you're not an ordinary guy. Pranapriya, not an ordinary lady. Who knows what you were in your last life, Pranapriya? So this is like a sacred community, and therefore, not just anyone gets to stumble in here. There are some like previous life actions that got us here today. Kaustubha's back. I don't know if you heard any of that stuff, Kaustubha, but
the last I heard, you're saying something about how these aren't ordinary people, or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm with you. I'm sure it was great. I'm sad that I missed it. It's on the edge of my seat. It's on the edge of my seat.
I went real deep, Kaustubha.
Deeper than ever before.
Text 7. O worshipable one, these peacocks are dancing before you out of joy. These doe are pleasing you with affectionate glances, just as the gopis do, and these cuckoos are honoring you with Vedic prayers. All these residents of the forest are most fortunate, and their beloved, and their behavior toward you certainly befits great souls receiving another great soul at home. We have a very sick and dying sheep in our garage right now.
Oh,
And today,
that's Madhu.
Yeah, today I decided I'm going to bring some of my deities out there for him to have darshan of.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you know why? Because you don't know who Madhu is. Madhu the sheep. Like, he could be a sacred person that he's just, divinity understood. He wants to live in the house of a devotee. He's been sprayed with Ganges water. He's eaten prasad. He's not an ordinary living being. And so now that he's leaving his body, he has to be, like, loved and treated that way.
Yeah. Well,
Please
we're trying to play
that.
bhajans in there 24/7.
Yeah, we're trying to play bhajans in there too, but it wasn't working well. But anyway,
Where is he?
He's in our
He's got a
garage.
2-car garage attached to the house.
Okay.
We brought
Okay.
the other one in there too.
Then we have a couple
Okay.
birds in there
A
to
couple
keep them.
birds hanging out there. It's like our garage is like a barn now. I've just finally, for the first time in my life, cleaned my garage really nicely. Then all of a sudden, we're like, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna turn this into a barn. So it smells like a barn, feels like a barn, but you know, the sheep
the
are happy
winter?
there. Dude, it's so cold and snowy and freezing here. It's like tough.
Madhu has been such a wonderful sheep all these years.
Yeah.
Madhu has been. Yeah, very.
He's
they're
been the
both-
leader of the sheep.
He's very affectionate. They're both very affectionate, actually.
Mm.
Really wonderful. When sheep are nice, they're just like cows in a sense. They're not angry animals. They're herd animals. They're soft-hearted. They mean no harm.
You can see
Wait,
it right
yeah,
in his,
what
in
do you
his
think about-
face.
Yeah. Like goats. Goats are sort of like sheep, but they got a little mischievous.
Oh, goats
and,
They got
like,
some
naughty
attitude.
in
Goats
them.
are like, you know, they're
like
trying to like, break into
hospitable.
your house, climb in your car, like eat stuff on your dashboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't mess with goats. They're a whole nother beast. They look like people are like, oh, it's a goat and a sheep. Nah.
Kind of the same, but not
Yeah,
really.
They're different.
Sheep are sweet.
Now, like us, you and I, we're from the punk rock scene. Doesn't mean you can't become a devotee. It just means it's some type of lower birth. You know, so like the goat, it's some type of lower birth. That's cool. They can become devotees too.
But
It's
sheep
just-
is halfway there.
Sheep are there. They're gentle. They don't eat anything. Goats eat anything.
We could turn the barn into a nativity scene for Christmas.
Oh, there you go.
Suggestions on the message board. Thank
Yeah.
you.
That is funny.
Yeah.
The ox and lamb kept time. Pum 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 pum.
You can make it like a thing. Everyone in Chatham will come there for the nativity scene. You know, you can light it up. Right.
Mikey Prema has gifts to bring.
Oh, Mikey Kramer would fit right in. Yeah, you too. You with the beards, you could work with these things.
Prana Priya played the drum. Rumpa pum pum. Doot, doot, doot.
I thought you say she was going to be Mary.
Oh, she could be Mary. Yeah, she could be Mary.
All right. Should we get into our takeaways?
Oh, that's it?
Oh man,
So
that went
We
fast.
did go fast today.
Watch out.
Okay.
There, you never know who's right in front of your face. That's a takeaway.
Okay.
Thank you. When you call God into your life, He comes.
He does.
No?
He does.
The world is magical.
No doubt about that.
Magical
That
place.
doesn't mean everything is a miracle, though.
Everything's a miracle. You just got to see it.
Swami's in Huntsville, Alabama is a miracle.
Take
though.
off
That's a
material
miracle.
vision and see the magic of this world. Do you believe in magic? Mr. Kaustubha, magic.
Priya. What's the next one,
Who
Prana?
does that song?
Some places are
That's
more
a
than just
loving
places.
spoonful.
Some places are more than what?
Just places.
Some places are more than places.
They're more than
Yeah.
just places.
Yeah.
Carry Vṛndāvana with you everywhere you go.
Yeah, that's what you got.
Yeah.
Kṛṣṇa reciprocates with our love.
Oh,
For sure. You know, carry Vṛndāvana with you wherever you go. I will say, it's like even when I'm on pilgrimage in holy places, we went to Jaipur this year, but in our hearts, we were in Vṛndāvana. You know?
Jaipur is a Gupta Vrindavan.
Yeah, it's a secret Vṛndāvana.
Purify, elevate, and transform consciousness through our Krishna Leela.
Yeah.
Bhakti is a river between the embankment of union and separation.
Right there, flowing through.
Sorry, I lost me. Nothing is ordinary in Vrindavan.
No. If it's
The
ordinary,
rock.
you're not there.
That's right.
Everything is
Or
extraordinary.
you're not seeing it.
Yeah.
The dust of Braj gives you new perspective.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
right down there.
It's the most valuable thing.
And
And
we never know who we're dealing with.
you never know who's right in front of your face, Kaustubha.
Madhu.
You. I'm talking about you. I don't know who you are. Share with me. Share your
Who are you?
Tell me who you are. You know? You know who you are from previous life. Sometimes I wonder, who am I? I'm serious. Like, what am I?
What am I? What have I done?